Jaron, did you see this great news? There's scientific evidence that we can eat chocolate and lose weight.
What? Ron, that sounds too good to be true.
Yeah, well, look.
What are you reading?
I'm reading Chocolate, the Weight Loss Turbo that I found in the International Archives of Medicine.
Huh. So can I take a look at the
Absolutely.
article?
Take a look.
Oh, Ron. So I can see why you want to believe this. Who doesn't?
Yeah.
But the claim seems counterintuitive. You know, whack.
Oh. Well, then maybe we should take a closer look. Can you tell me why this is whack? That's a pretty strong claim. Yeah.
So there are questions that we can ask to find out whether a study is legitimate. So let's start with the journal itself. The International Archives of Medicine. We can assess the quality of the journal by something called the impact factor, or the number of times an article has been cited by others in a particular time period. Not every field relies on impact factors, but in the sciences, they are an important measure because science ultimately builds on the findings of others over time. The more something has been tested and retested, the stronger foundation it has in the field of science.
I understand the cumulative nature of science requires that we have replicable results and we build these up over time, but we have to be a little careful because people may be citing an article again and again and again just to show how badly things can go wrong scientifically. So the Seralini article might be an example of this. So we have to look beyond the impact factor and the journal's reputation to look at the data itself. So let's look at the data in this. According to the table in this data, there are table 3 right here. The chocolate treatment group had only 5 subjects, and the non-chocolate group only 4 subjects. Isn't that way too low a sample size?
I think that it is. I do.
Yeah, also, look at this. They measured 18 different possible variables. Now, statistically, that's like a fishing expedition because you're almost certain to find one that is significant when you have very, very small numbers in the subject groups and you have very small differences, see here, very small differences in weight between the groups. So you're almost certain to find something that's a correlation, but it may not mean anything at all.
So, Ron, we have to let the group in on what we know. That this study was, in fact, an elaborate hoax played by a journalist. There is no scientific evidence that chocolate leads to weight loss. Too bad for us. But still, the study did get published. And so in this week, we'll talk more about this study and why it was so believable. We'll also learn more about science media, including what journalists look for in a story. We'll also spend some time talking about social media and how this has changed the landscape, and how we increasingly trust who gave us the news first and the content of what the news actually says second.